All right. Neato. I'm good and I am up. Let me pull myself up, make sure that everything is actually running. Beep-a-deep-beep-a-doo.
Successfully live.
Indeed,
That's a good
indeed.
start. PC hasn't crashed yet. Ooh.
That's the best part. That's the best part. Neat. All right. So we're here for if I do this, it'll cap it real quick, won't it? No? That's okay. It's just capping that, but I could put this here. Okay, neat. We're here for spooky session. Gabe is on the road at the time, so Cookie will be sitting this session out, but it is the spooky season. So we're gonna do like a little horror one-off. Spooky. Just because it is a one-off, why don't each of you, we'll do just like the vastest of introductions, just say like who you are and what character you're playing. Because at some point we may, we might play other arcs and other characters, and I don't want this one to get lost amongst other things. So why don't we start at the top with Dante? Why don't you tell us, I guess, what did you, just tell us who you guys are and who you're playing.
Wait, so is this like the same game as the current
It
campaign or
is. It
no?
is. Yes. 100%. We're just
You can
like,
play as any character though.
no.
Whoever you want.
No. We're for sure still playing the characters.
Hmm.
Only because we haven't built other characters. But I can even do the first one for
Who's
like
gonna pick
ease.
Carla for
We just
first?
want to make sure that the specials all have accessibility.
Yes, that's exactly it. So basically, I should do it too. It would be like, I'm M and I am the GM, which is like super easy, just like that, very simple, so that the audience can tie who is playing who to who when we get into other campaigns.
I see. My name's Dante, and I am playing BBW this time.
Nailed it. Lily?
I'm Lily, and I am playing Carl.
Indeed, and Larry.
I am Lawrence, and I am playing Tombleson S. Slippy, the stealth officer.
Hell yeah. Ideal. Easy to root people into our universe. And now, to read the forward, set us in where we're at. Your team has been stuck aboard the Delta in between missions for over a month now. The season is slow and the station has had no extra missions to send you out on. You fill your days doing menial various tasks, cleaning these rooms, helping with this training, doing various things across the station. And being aboard the station for so long, you've been spending much time in various parts, like I've said. The bridge, the markets, the armory, and throughout this time, you've begun to hear whisperings of what is sort of colloquially known around the station as the haunted season, and it's approaching. In between conversations, you've picked up snippets of information here and there about a period every year for about a month or so where there have been unexplainable dark occurrences. Hauntings, murders, missing people, the list goes on, but needless to say, the rumor mill is abound. While things like this may occur around the year, during the haunted season, there seems to be much, much more. As we find ourselves here, Cookie's research has kept her busy a lot of the time you've been here, and most of the time she's only found herself home has been late in the evenings, maybe making a meal for you all to enjoy in the late evenings, if at all. One evening, we see Cookie closing up the lab, Lady Weathers having left a few hours before. Cookie winds through the tighter corridors of the research station and out into the food and O2 ward. As she crosses the clearings and makes her way to the main path, there is a rustling in the bushes. She stops and peers at the bush. We hear Cookie call out, "Hello? Is someone..." But her question goes unfinished, as a dark shape leaps out from the bushes and overtakes her before she is able to react. In a moment, the food and O2 production returns to silence. Cookie not having returned home, however, is not out of the ordinary for you folks, and the following day you go about your day as normal, assuming Cookie is apart doing her normal activities. That very same evening, the camera pans over to Quasar. We've been to Quasar as we've played before, maybe not at this point in which this episode will be released, but Quasar, which we didn't actually give a name to it, is the living quarters turned nightclub that finds itself butted up to the roped off, sheeted off, and abandoned portion of the station. The club is closing up for the evening, and a few folks pitter-patter about outside the just locked doors, smoking on their space vapes and drunkenly figuring out whose pad to bring the party back to. As they pass the ropes and turn further into the residential sector, they're stopped by the clang of metal on the other side of the sheeting. One of the robots of the group begins to approach the sheeting, both cheered on and dissuaded from his group by various members. As it reaches up to pull back the plastic sheeting, there's a brief moment of silence, and all of a sudden, a loud crash. Brief screams escape the other members of the party as they are quickly and viciously clawed down by the dark figure. Dragging a couple bodies back, it returns quickly behind the sheeting and into the darkness. The next morning, you three are called to the bridge in HQ. It seems you have a mission. And you're pulled in to, as you enter the bridge in HQ, things are kind of quiet here. Again, we're in the quiet season. You folks are called over to Teddy Rake's HQ and sort of given the lowdown. You're shown a little bit of security footage. It's a little spotty and it's a little grainy and it's cutting in and out. And this is, not the way that these things are supposed to work. But it is of the evening before where this party is sort of viciously cut down by the shadow. And he says, we have absolutely no clue what this thing is. There hasn't been any sort of reports of beasts or monsters aboard the station. We don't know. The area has been sort of sanctioned off. We would really much like you folks to look into it.
Sounds like you get it.
No, we lost you through all of that, I think.
Damn. I said, sounds like you need an investigator, but I am a frog.
Oh.
That is true.
But all right, but I'll figure your crime out.
But I'll do it.
Obviously, it's not a monster. There's no such thing. Slippy says, looking into camera.
Now, well, Carl has been doing a lot of research lately on basically the lore of the universe.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that might possibly be on crime, or cryptozoology. So Carl's going to try to spout lore.
Okay, let's start it off with a spout lore. For this whole session also, I mean, it's a bit unfortunate, but don't mark experience, please.
Yeah, of course.
Just because we're doing filler.
We get to mark spooky experience.
Spooky points.
Spooky level.
Yeah, spooky points.
I leveled
You
up in
can
the
get a
spooky
spooky
multiverse.
perk. It's a sticker.
It's a sticker.
I got 5, so I get to party.
You're here to party. You think through. The thing is that, like, cryptozoology is generally pretty localized, right? Like, if we think of what we know, like in ours, right, the Mothman is pretty centralized to an area, whereas like Bigfoot is takes up this areas of forest versus the Sasquatch versus etc. So like all of this is pretty localized.
And the seahorses on Carl's planet.
And seahorses on Carl's planet. Some things are cryptozoology and some things are not, depending on where you're at and depending on like what they know to be true. But I think that during your research you might have found some information about the haunted season, and it seems to be aboard this station. It is not a universe-wide situation. It seems to be something to do with this station's maybe
And it has
orbit
something to do with the lower 40% of the power that we can't use.
or you know, it could be something to do with the lower 40% of the power we can't use. It probably doesn't because it's a filler episode, but it could.
Oh, so
We
that lower
we
40% of power that we can't use is
solve
important,
the
huh?
entire plot in the Halloween special.
Hey, Gabe, we beat the game while you were gone.
I
Sorry.
accidentally have to call this episode 9. Yeah, I think that you know of this period, right? But it's you're cycling through. I think at most that you don't. Most of the haunted period kind of monsters are not a huge aspect of a lot of the lore of this. So like that's already taken you for a bit of a loop. And Rake says Rake actually asks if you folks have seen or heard from Cookie in the past few days.
Hang on. And then Slippy gets his walkie-talkie out and he dials for Cookie.
I mean it just sort of statics. It does that like
That's
the low
spooky.
hum of static as there is no response.
Slippy looks back dead center of camera and he says, "That's strange."
And Rake says, when was the last time that you folks had heard from her?
I just talked to her the other day.
That we have meals with them from time to time, but the last time that I heard from them was the introduction to this episode.
Fine. There is a there he says interesting. Let me check, and he cycles back through. I mean, he has up this one security feed, so I guess he just flicks over to Food in O2. You having told him that Cookie's been taken up a lot in research, and there is he's just sort of fast, like quick rewinding through things, trying to see if there's anything weird, and he comes across another staticky, grainy area. This one is even more so, and you don't really see a lot, but you see a shadowy figure kind of jump out of the bushes, and then it goes like full static for about 10 seconds, and then comes back on and is perfect and serene images as it's deep in the evening. He says, "Oh, wait, okay, so it looks like Cookie, something's been going down in the Food in O2.
That was a shadowy, strange presence. But I bet there's some logical explanation. We should maybe investigate further."
Then I'll leave it to you folks.
What's the reward for this mission?
Reward? It's a friend.
10 spooky points.
Oh, fuck. 10? All right.
To be used as you see fit. But you can't
I'm on it.
It's part of the rules, though. You can't actually spend them all in one place.
Spooky multiverse me is going to be rich.
10 spooky points.
And I spend enough of what if I have 10 and I buy something that costs 9? Does it matter that there's nothing I can buy with 1 as long as I didn't spend them all in one place?
Correct. Yeah. If you come across another thing you could maybe
Follow
buy
the
for
rules.
one later.
I
As long
don't
as
have
you
to spend them all in multiple places.
No, you don't have to
It's
spend them
not
all at
and,
all, but
and.
you just can't spend them all in a singular spot.
Deal.
Okay, perfect. Where do you folks
I will
want
now
to
go and search for my friend.
now that these spooky points are
That's
sorted?
out.
Where do you folks want to head first? Do you want to head towards
Food No 2.
Food No 2 first?
Actually, we could go. Let's go to Slippy's house because we can do that right now. Slippy's quarters.
So do we know about the Shadow Monster yet? Like, canonically, do we know about the Shadow Monster yet?
So yeah, the things that I think by now you know a little bit less of a descriptor of the things that you folks know. Like, your characters know less description because I threw in some nice flowery descriptions, but pretend your characters saw all that through grainy and staticky cameras. So now you know about
Oh.
both events. Both events, I mean, I guess Cookie's area isn't roped off because you just found out about it. The place where all of that group of people and robots was murdered is roped off like kind of crime scene style, so it's all open for you to check out. Slippy wants to head to his quarters first, though.
No, I want to go to Cookie's quarters because they can't stop us right now.
Oh, you want to go through Cookie's room?
Yeah, I bet there's some clues in there about where they went and why they got attacked by a shadowing creature.
Sure. You could check out Cookie's quarters
Of course.
first.
Let's call Gabe and find out what his quarters look like. No, it's fine because these are the spooky quarters.
These are Gabe's spooky quarters. I mean, canonically, I don't quite know. I'd imagine it's probably pretty sparse in here, as Gabe hasn't actually spent a lot of time here.
Here's an important question canonically.
Oh?
Are these Gabe's spooky quarters, or are these spooky Gabe's quarters?
Is Gabe spooky in the spooky multiverse?
Yeah, is this
if we-
this
if we're
is
going
the
spooky
quarters of
Gabe,
an evil
yeah,
version of Gabe?
Whoa! This one's not going to get
Gabe.
public.
I told you to hereditary me, and I knew you were going.
We're gonna get
Gabe's
hereditary
driving
by the end
now.
of this
Don't
one.
do this to me.
I'm not gonna put in a roll because I don't want to describe Gabe's quarters further than a basic. You give it the once over, and I mean, at most you don't really find much about where Cookie would have gone, save the fact that there's probably piles of like research papers here involving the fungal research that Cookie's been involved with. So, the Food and O2 Research Center.
Fine, I will go to the Food and O2, and I would like to investigate where we saw the shadowy figure and Cookie in the camera.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be a discern realities roll. And I rolled an 11.
3 holds.
So I get to ask you 3 questions about the Food and O2 area.
Indeed. We'll do one. We'll do some story. We'll do the next as the next part of the story opens.
Hey, what happened here recently?
Hey, what happened here recently?
Oh my god.
You do I feel like I'm just gonna move through this adventure until you tell me you split up, as if all 3 of you are together, so I don't have to stop asking if like, okay, cool. Until you guys tell me we're gonna go to separate places. We are just a group. So the 3 of you go to
is suction cups to everyone at once.
Perfect. Now you're tethered together, even better. The 3 of you go to Food and O2 production. Since the beginning of this, we'll say, you left HQ to go check out Cookie's chambers, see if there's any extra clues, and then went here. Since then, this area has been sectioned off. Old Lady Weathers is anxiously patient up and down a like caution tape line, and the 3 of you are let in. We'll say another team has been put on sort of kind of guard duty of this area, right? There's not like huge station security. You guys went on the station, or technically station security, as well as everyone else. Like, everyone's in charge of that. So it's just there's just probably another team watching over the area as you 3 approach, and you come to this section off area. There isn't a ton of direct information, right? It isn't like Old Lady Weathers knew the next day that there had been a struggle here. We'll say at most, you're able to find that there was a scuffle in the middle of this path. There hasn't been a ton of foot traffic in between then and now. And you can see some drag marks through the bushes off towards the residential areas, basically the way that you guys are coming from, is how I'll answer that first question as to what has happened here recently. I think it's right. Cookie was taken here recently in that direction.
I just hope Cookie's okay.
Indeed. Indeed.
Maybe she
But I
is
hope
the monster.
Spooky Cookie's not okay.
Oh my god. What's your
I'm
second
on to
question?
you.
I'm on to you.
My second question is, what is useful or valuable to me?
Here
Nothing.
in the book, nothing. You
Turn
here
around and look at your friends,
Oh.
you ungrateful prick.
here
Oh.
in the bush, you find a small scrap of torn fabric. It is a deep crimson fabric.
You didn't tell me.
It's pretty heavy, but it's just like a corner of a piece of fabric.
Uh-huh.
By heavy, I mean that it, holding it, you realize that if this was a full piece of fabric, it would just be a heavy garment. Thick.
Heavy, thick garment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who wears heavy, thick garments? Or what
Or
wears
what?
heavy, thick garments? But I don't believe in what's. There's no such thing as monsters.
There's no such thing as what's.
There's no
Yeah, a
monster.
what is just a who that you haven't learned to talk to yet.
A what is a
Or
who that
there's a
you just
what.
can't understand or fathom?
Yeah, like
Uh,
Oh, I didn't say it either, but welcome to Delta Dark, the beast from beyond. There we go.
Oh, there'll be some beyond.
nice.
So what here is not what it appears to be? Is this not really a heavy garment? July.
What here is not what it appears to be. Based on the information you know, putting things together, Slippy, I think, would, if not be under the assumption, be aware of the possibility that the beast that attacked this group of people and did murder them all could also have been the beast that attacked Cookie.
Oh no, I hope Sleepy. I know
But,
Cookie didn't get murdered.
Cookie's dead. Gabe's gonna come in with a new character. He just
You
doesn't
killed your
know
character
yet.
in the
I mean,
Spookyverse.
there's,
Well, if we ever
there's
do a
multiple
Spookyverse and Gabe is
Chucklings
here,
about that could just grow up into a new Cookie.
congrats, you have to play as Chutch now.
Damn. He has a
Better than
backup.
playing as Jeremy Piven.
You let's see. What here is not what it appears to be. Oh, what is not what it appears to be is that near this scrap of fabric, there is a, in this bush, a heavy boot print. So
What's don't wear boots?
Yeah, so
That's a who.
This is exactly. This is not a what's that took Cookie, but a who.
Does Cookie wear boots?
No.
Probably
Oh.
not. I can't say for
What-
sure, but probably not.
What direction is the boot heading in?
The
Is
drag
there
marks were headed back towards the residential area. That, I mean, it looks, the way that the boot is like pressed into the ground, it looks like they were lying in wait here in this bush.
Do we have search warrants? Can we just start going door to door? Searching everyone's quarters.
Not without probable cause. Carl, BBW, what do the two of you think about this initial site? Or have anything you want to do in this initial site?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay.
I did the nothing other than the spout lore.
Yeah, no, I mean
that I tried.
that's totally fine. I'm just checking. Where would the group like what would the group like to do next then?
What was the other place that we have a connection to currently, a lead in?
The next lead would be the cautioned off area, kind of outside the quasar. Remember, the quasar is the area that is turned into a nightclub, and the back hallway that is the beginning of this abandoned station area is right behind the quasar, and that is basically the area where this happened.
All right, gang, let's go investigate the quasar, and then club respectfully in the memory of Cookie.
All right. Going out.
You approach the quasar. It's daytime. It's probably about 1 p.m. We'll use Earth clocks for all time from here on out because why not? Turns out this is canon. It's about 1 p.m. You began that chat with Ray. You were called in pretty early on to see the pretty brutal stuff early in the morning. So it's about 1 p.m. and you're wandering over to the quasar. There's a few people coming in and out. There is security standing outside, and down the hall at the very end, you can see the beginning of the caution tape. Even from down here, you're probably, you're down the hall. You're pretty far down the hall. You can see like the hall down there is pretty fucked up. And as you approach, as you get a little bit closer, before you decide exactly what to do, you can see slash marks on the wall, sprays of blood everywhere, and I would say that they have removed the bodies, but there are, chalk outlines to show you folks where they were. And yeah, where would you like to start here at the quasar?
There's security office we can see. I know we already saw some footage, but maybe there's
Yeah,
something else
maybe
in
we
there.
could find some better footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you approach the bodyguard outside and ask. You show him we're just gonna call them delivery forms also because we use that in one of our sessions at some point. You show him your mission form and he in request to be taken to the security office. The club probably has one. That makes the most sense. It is probably in the back, butted up to the back wall that is the abandoned area, and they have more cameras in here than the station would probably actually have access to. And the security guard, as you approach, looks things over and says, "If you'll just give me a moment, I'll have to call in the owner, see if we can run you through any of this all
Yeah,
this
that's
this
okay.
private security data." And
Of
this
course.
it's actually pretty quick. It's faster than I think you would think. Before the owner strolls in, he's a tall, purple speckled skinned alien, very thin, long lanky arms. He's in a pressed suit, and he strolls up and he says, "How can I help you gentlemen today?"
Ooh.
Hi.
Folks, how can I help you folks today?
Well,
We're
there
here
was
to
a
party in your, investigate.
we're
Investigate in
party
your,
investigators.
yeah.
You're here to
I've got someone on the street.
invest. You're looking for a place to hold an event, or what's going on here?
Well,
Bodies,
well,
cameras.
Action.
action.
Action. We got all sorts of action on these cameras. Why don't you folks tell me a little bit what you're looking for here?
Well, there was a problem out in the alley recently, and we just wanted to know if you had any extra footage that you didn't submit to the, anything suspicious would help. We're just trying to connect the dots about this spooky happenings that have been happenings. You know what I mean?
And he tells
Spooky season.
he tells the security guard to, let's see. He tells the security guard to. He says, "Why don't you scroll through it and find what happened last night? That was a very spooky happenstance. Some people got roughed up pretty bad, it seems, outside. But that kind of stuff happens quite often here at the club." And after a few moments, the security guard flicks it onto a larger screen that you can see, and it is, I'm gonna say, it's the same exact security footage that you saw. He might start it a few seconds before. You guys scroll through, it's the same thing, and then he ends it a bit later. He's like, "It's a shame that kind of stuff happens. Well, I don't know if that kind of stuff happens, but
I
Are
mean,
you
it
sure there
did.
isn't any extra any extra things that we might be missing, seriously, anything would help. And I'm gonna get out some credits that I have in the spooky universe, and I'm gonna offer
Spooky
them
credits.
just a good amount, just a good
Just
amount of them.
a spooky
However many
bribe.
yeah, just however many I
Seasonal
have.
currency.
It doesn't matter here. So here I go.
Spooky
And then I'm gonna
points. That makes
add
sense.
that in for my parlay.
Wait, what's up? What's up, BBW?
Or can I help with the parlay with like a little bead necklace?
You don't need to.
Just
I've
in
got
case.
I've
Well-
got an
You got
I've
enough
got a
money?
Here's
12.
1,000 spooky gold.
Oh,
Got a 12 with a +1, and assuming the spooky +1.
God damn. Okay.
The spooky gold.
And the
plus
spooky
one.
the spooky gold +1. That's a good parlay. I think that, I mean, BBW, you can still offer a you know, your bead necklace alongside, and he takes these things and he looks them over and he says, we do have an extra camera back there in them hallways. You got to keep an eye on your back. We've heard rumblings of you know, down on their luck folks living in the abandoned portions of the station. If let's see if what we got on there on that camera, huh? For about the same time. And a few moments
For
pass,
the children, of course.
and a camera flicks up. It's really dark back here. We're gonna actually say that you're
cool.
seeing in night vision, because it's
Ooh.
pretty black back here.
Cinematic.
You are seeing in behind the sheeting, basically. This is the back wall of the club. So they don't have more cameras going deeper into this area because they only need the one checking out the back wall. But this is off of station security cameras because every part of that area shut down. This is powered by the club. There is a... This is like a long tunnel. There's like lots of detritus. There's lots of, you know, boxes and overturned. It looks like an abandoned building, right? It's empty for quite some time. All of a sudden, the static starts coming in the frame. It seems to start pretty slow at first here on this night vision camera, and begins to pick up. You see a shape come around the corner here. Before the static really kicks up, though, you get an image, and it comes around the corner fully and gets into the hallway, and all of a sudden it's like blurry, and you can't see anything on this camera for the next little bit. But they fast forward a little bit, and then, you know, back to the moment in which it's a little bit more visible. You can see the legs of bodies being dragged around this corner. There's a bunch of different paths, but you can see the legs of bodies being dragged around. They rewind a little bit and pause, and in this pause is really the best frame for what you got of this thing. It's very big, it's tall, it has these long hooked arms that come up. You seeing it even in the shadow, you get the sense that they're like praying mantis arms, like bladed, clawed arms. This,
but that's still not a what. That could be a person. We know Cookie.
This
Gosh, it might look a
thing
little
is huge. It's big. It almost like fills the hallway. And yeah, I think that's about it. Just a giant, you know, hooked clawed monster. Is mostly shadowy. You get a little bit of like almost like a chitiny reflection, like a hard reflection off of a small part of its skin.
feel like, whoa. I feel like monster is a really stigmatized term to use, considering we're friends with a giant bug.
That's what I'm saying. I'm actively saying this is not a monster. It can't be.
You using the word monster feels like it's intentionally misleading.
I'm using
This is
not the
gonna
word
be
monster.
I'm like,
huge plot
whoa,
twist.
why
That's gonna
would
be
we
he is a
assume that?
human.
We're
Just a dude.
literally,
Uh,
you're like,
I'm
it
a
has
giant-
praying
I'm a giant
mantis
fish
arms.
man.
I'm like, yeah, we're friends with Cookie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I guess maybe it's monstrous in intention, right? Because Cookie's never dragged
Is it
two bodies around a corner.
Growling and drooling and bloody.
Cookie's never slashed up a group of people, leaving blood behind. You know,
that
like
we know of.
that you know
We've
of.
we actively know of 2 corpses that she has gotten babies out of by laying her eggs.
Fine, then it's just a serial killer at the moment. It doesn't.
Oh no! Now this is
The enemy
serious.
looks at you and goes, "I want to kill you. I have malicious intention."
Malicious intentions.
The enemy looks at you and says, "Rah, I'm a monster." As long as you say that, I will also say that. But until the enemy tells me, that's fine. It's right now it's a creature, and you see these, big clawed arms and hooked hands and such.
Hey, why didn't you report this? This is pretty damning evidence right here, isn't it?
Well,
Don't you think?
I mean, we just found it. I'd say you folks coming in to peek through our
Thanks for helping us
cameras.
find this.
We don't often. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for. He shakes the sack of credits, I guess, and says, "Thanks for helping me help you find this." Is there anything I can help you with else today?
Well, can you just show us back there so we can go and check it out?
Oh yeah, you guys can head on back there. That's public
dangerous.
public property. Feel free to
Right.
head on back through the sheeting anytime you want. But I gotta say, if that thing, he points at the screen again. He says, if that thing's back there, I don't know that we're gonna be of much help to you.
Oh, that's okay. I can't die.
If that thing's back there, I don't think you'll be staying in business long, sir. We're here to take care of it.
You know what? That's a fair point, and I appreciate you fine folk for coming on out and helping. And the three of you come up to the actual crime scene area. Like I said, it's a battle zone here. The walls are tore up, the floor is tore up. There's blood and bits everywhere. Oil as well, because there was a couple robots destroyed in it. And some bloody drag marks leading to the sheeted area.
Let's follow the drag marks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post up on the wall because I don't want to touch the floor.
All right. Through the sheeting and into darkness, you folks have some flashlights. You click them on, and the beams of light cut through the darkness. Back here, it's pretty quiet. There isn't really a lot going on. The most you hear is like the creaking and such of like a station in disrepair back here. As you go, you turn the corner that the security cameras showed the legs going around, and peer down another long hallway. Back. We are in residential area. This hallway doesn't look too different from where you folks, reside, save the sort of abandoned quality. It's dusty. Some doors are open, right? You see a box, you see a rat or a space rat or two scurry away as you flip around the corner. But this is where we find ourselves. What do the three of you do?
Slippy is going to use his what is it? I have a bad feeling. I'm gonna spend a moment to survey a dangerous area.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, another 11. So I get to ask all 3 questions. Is there a trap here? If so, what activates it? Is there a trap here?
Peering down this hallway, there doesn't seem to be any traps, anything in hiding, nothing, nothing directly traps, nothing's hiding and waiting for you, it seems.
Okay.
So no.
Then the second question doesn't make any sense. After that answer, I'm not gonna say
what
activates
the trap
it. Do it activate it.
Yeah.
What else is hidden here?
What else is hidden here? The three of you begin walking down the hallway and peering in and out of doors. The first few sets of doors are open or broken or unlocked entirely. The rooms and the dwellings beyond are similarly in disrepair. It seems as if, you know, if there's teens on the station, this is where they would go to like hang out, you know, do some shit off the cameras
What?
and vibe teen
This is where they
styles.
would smoke space weed,
Space
right?
weed, exactly. They're space vapes. You folks go beyond this, though. There's even more like caution tape. It looks like maybe at some point there might have been several levels of shutdown in this power as you're back here, and you go beyond the second level of caution tape, and things back here are even worse. And you're in long residential hallways. The doors back here are all in pretty good repair, at least, and several are locked. There is a couple are locked with like caution tape, not like locked, but they're like blocked off with like caution tape. One in particular is locked, and painted over this door is a strange symbol. I mean, it sticks out to you because nothing else has been like this coming down this hallway. It seems old. The paint is chipped and like kind of, just older, but it is a weird painted symbol just over this door.
What does it look like?
Mm.
Like, what does it represent anything? Or sorry, does it resemble anything we've seen before?
Why don't you give me a spout lore, BBW?
Okay. Um, it's plus a 30, right?
I'm sorry?
Is it plus this dexterity?
Spout lore is plus wisdom, I believe. Is that true, Carl?
Oh, 9 then.
9. I think with the mixture of you like looking for this information now and with some of the stuff we'll say Carl told you about the research that Carl had done, you are able to connect that to, we'll say, a one-off story that it had interested Carl, but it didn't seem maybe necessarily relevant until this, and that is that there is a story, a rumor, we'll go with rumor, of a cult that had begun up here on the station, and there's some like dark, almost like teen novella style stories about what happened here with this cult, and so not a lot of people take it seriously. But this is the first sort of piece of evidence that I think you have any sort of connection to this.
Fake cult, real cult.
Real cult, fake cult.
No.
I guess I'll record it just for later, see if we find anything similar.
Could we go interrogate some teens? Do you think that would help?
Yeah, there's we could continue the investigation deeper into this,
I don't
abandoned.
know how much you can excuse beating up teenagers as an alleyway.
I didn't say beat them up. Just interrogate.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, so we can there's probably this room to investigate. If you can get the door open, we can continue further into the residential area. There's probably other options if you could, come up with them. I think those are the two most present options.
Try unlocking this door for sure.
I probably have a lockpicker or something like that.
You might. I think BBW probably also has something where he can like tell machines what to do.
Is lock a machine?
I'm gonna say
It's probably
there's
like a
machine.
mechanical lock of some kind. I'd be willing to let it slide
Open
if
sesame.
if BBW had that and wanted to try it. I definitely would let it slide. If not, then Slippy's got lock picking. So while you're looking at that, I see a few people here hanging out in chat. If you're enjoying yourselves on our spooky special here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, like the video. You'll see when we do actual sessions and not our like spooky one-offs. But yes, thank you for being here. What you got, BBW? Pretty sure you just picked up an ability that was like tell machines what to do. No?
Yeah, you're gonna need to because I rolled only a 4 for my lock picking.
Let's see.
We can see what I can do with that. I don't have anything like that.
Okay.
But
let's kick it down. Combat officer.
Hold on. Before you roll, I could be totally wrong, but I really think that there is something called like command of machines or something. Command of robots.
I'm not sure I have that.
Command of robots. It's your very first one. When you use machines to communicate with other machines, on a.
It's all the way up here. I knew it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this is.
If this is a mechanical lockpick, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, basically, you're just. Yeah, we're playing a little bit of Calvin Ball, I think, with it, but with a 4 on Slippy's lockpick, I think I'll let it work.
Right.
So roll plus intelligence. 10. You issue a single command to the machine and it must obey. BBW looks down at this machine and issues a data command to it to unlock. And there is a... I think at first when you do that, there is nothing, and you immediately remember, right? There's no power back here to the station, and you hook into the jack and apply just the tiniest amount of electricity into this. You get blocked by the fact that, right, like you don't have the key to this, but you have a command, and as you apply just a little bit of power, the lock clicks, bing bong, as you said, and the door slides open. You know that these doors slide into the wall mechanically. The lock clicks and then it powers down as the door just kind of gets loose in its trolley thing, and you push it open into the wall. And inside there's a living quarters similar to your folks' living quarters, similar in terms of shape and layout, but it is different in here. It's all kind of torn apart. There are pages of writing everywhere. All these pages have these strange symbols, kind of similar to the one on the outside of the door. They're all over the walls and everywhere. What do you folks do?
Ooh, interesting. Said there's some logs around. Let's take a look at those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily like stacks of like, logs you would maybe understand. The papers that are kind of skewed about here throughout the room are really just all covered in these strange symbols. It looks like if you got them all together and knew how to read it, you could probably put them in an order to figure out maybe it's like some form of personal log or diary or alphabet or something like that, but it is just sort of scattered all across the room. You can collect as many as you wish and like kind of stack them up in case for later. There's many more symbols here, but I think at the moment you don't know what to do with that. Or what do you want to do with that, really?
I think
I mean, we've got a new area. I think a spout lore with new information, or discern realities.
One of you please do the spout lore because I still have a -1 to intelligence.
Why don't
I'll do a
you,
spout lore.
Carl, real dumb.
if Slippy does a spout lore, Carl, why don't you do like a discern realities? And then that one wisdom, or is that the same for you?
I mean,
You don't have
that's
to
a
do
little
that.
better.
It's just
It's a little better.
if you fail, there's nothing huge that happens. Sometimes I might take a hard move against the team, but like it's it also we maybe learn more
Carl
about the
is
story.
happy to make rolls, but just,
Yeah,
let
tell me
Carl
something
know
interesting.
when
I got a
something
9.
needs to be shot or stabbed.
Yeah, for sure. Carl's a good shooter stabber.
Tell me something
No,
interesting. I got a 9 for
You got
my spout lore.
something interesting. Cookie, you nope. Slippy, yeah, you look around. I think what's most interesting is a lot of this stuff is a little, you don't really understand what this is saying, but based on layout, based on Slippy's got a high intelligence, wherever that came from, not 100% sure, but there's probably some study at some point. Maybe he helped Carissa study for her space midterms or whatever. But at some point, Slippy came across some lore or some theory, and it's connecting back to here. And it is that a lot of this seems to be like failed, but looks like attempts at a summoning ritual of some kind.
Aw, dang, guys. They
Hell,
are
absolutely no hell.
making something in here.
And Carl, what was your discern realities if you decided to do that?
it was a 5
A
after
five.
my +1.
A 5 after the +1. Carl is peeking around through this stuff, trying to help Slippy get to the bottom of like what this really is. And I think you folks get to the edges of this room, and you're starting to move a lot of this paper around, and you realize that in the corner of this room there is a specific larger circle. It seems to be the area where they may have tested this primarily, and Carl, in his looking around, finds himself directly in the center of this circle as he kicks off the last paper. And there's a brief fizzle underneath your feet, Carl, and a brief flash of light. Carl immediately,
Guys.
my dice takes
Kill me. Kill
3
me.
points of damage through armor.
Canon holiday special.
Through
True armor.
armor. Yep. You just take it. You feel like weakened in this flash of light. All of you kind of cover your eyes.
Did I bring all this armor?
BBW, your sensors are kind of overwhelmed for a moment, and then it returns to black. Only it feels darker in here. You're not able to tell if that's because it is, you've just been flashbanged, or if it is there's less light in here. But Carl, you feel drained, and it's eerily quiet in here, almost dampened silent.
Hey, Carl, you okay? You're not a monster now, right?
No,
You want some
I
toast?
just feel bad now.
Is that what a
Nope.
monster would say?
I'm not a monster. I can dance for you again.
We'll never know. We'll
monster
have to kill
wouldn't dance
Carl
for
now.
you.
Tell me something that only Carl could know.
That not spooky Carl. That spooky Carl
That
wouldn't know.
That I can dance.
What here is not what it
alien
appears to be.
impersonating an octopus would know that octopus can dance with a stick?
Can you space Dougie?
Teach me how to space,
No.
Dougie. You folks
Yeah,
are
that's good. Spooky Carl would know how to space Dougie.
you folks are questioning
Exactly.
You have to
Carl,
demonstrate.
and the darkness around this room seems to be, as your eyes are adjusting, you feel your eyes adjusting back to darkness, but the blackness in this room seems to be pressing in. You can no longer see the walls of this room. The symbols on the walls have disappeared, but only because the walls themselves are like in shadow. And it just seems like a bubble of blackness is kind of closing in, and you start to hear a little whisper in the silence floating in and around the bubble of blackness. And the whisper raises to a scream as a shadowy shape kind of coalesces from the darkness next to BBW. BBW, what do? It's coming right at you.
It's coalescing.
Hold up. I have lights. Maybe another flashbang will work. I'm gonna use my light my light attack.
Yeah. Your basic light spell, right? What
Yep.
you've never used this light spell before? What which funny, we're just giving some canon. What machine does the light spell take up for BBW?
It's a light spell that comes. It's like a little mini disco ball that comes from his mouth.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
So kind of like, and then without having to do that,
This
just like flashbang him like before if I can.
all right,
Or it's
so
just gonna be like a light.
yeah, right. But we want to give it that fun party weight. So roll plus intelligence to use machines. You're running a prepared operation.
Lovely. It was that's a 13.
Good
'Cause I
lord.
got yeah.
You hear
That's
this
my turn.
scream from the blackness, and you see this shadow rush at you, and immediately you drop your jaw, and your disco ball comes out and flashes light around the room. This shadow seems to collide with the light, and then the scream becomes high pitched, and it kind of, your lights pulse through the shadow, and the room returns to normal, and the shadow kind of dissipates in a black mist, and
Oh.
you folks are left standing in the room. Carl, you felt really drained like right away. Immediately upon this disappearing, you feel a little bit like a breath of fresh air kind of coat, like that cool air kind of comes over your body as you have a fever, you're like, oh, that feels really good. It's kind of like that, just like briefly. It feels relieving after the shadow creature has been
Flippy
dispersed.
is going to use his bag of tricks.
Okay.
And he does have one more item. And he pulls out a big flashlight.
A big flashlight.
Big flashlight. Okay.
What did you roll on that?
9.
Just to like keep it in there. So what is that middle ground for your items? For you pulling items out of your bag?
Tools of the trade. On a 7 and 9, either there is more where that came from, but you will add a complication to the next thing. Or it's the last thing in my bag.
Okay, but there is more where that came from, but we're gonna add a complication to the next thing.
Yes. So
Okay.
if I pull another thing out, you can add some bullshit to it.
Some bullshit. I love that.
You
Perfect.
can make it bad.
Incredible. So you pull out
I pull out a flashlight and it doesn't have batteries.
you pull out a big box flashlight and click it on, and the light beam cuts through the room much better than your standard issue flashlights are. And yeah, you folks are here. There doesn't seem to be anything else in this room at the moment with you.
Hey, BBW, don't go in the circle.
That stirred up a lot of these papers, and we'll say in the aftermath, papers are floating around the room, and a paper comes into BBW's vision, and he snags it, and it's kind of this one isn't written in this culty language, these symbols and these sigils, basically, I should say, rather than culty language. These symbols and sigils. This is written in common. Just keep using common as a thing. And it details the need for more sacrifices and a larger area to welcome the presence. It's difficult to parse exactly what's being said. It's almost as if they're fading in between these like sigils and common language, like they're kind of losing track of how they're writing. And as you're reading this over, you begin to BBW hear a few whispers in your ears.
In your circuits.
No one else though seems to hear these whispers. You're just hearing like this whisper, and it seems to want you to go further into the residential sector. It seems to be kind of calling you.
Anyone else? It's like there's something calling to me. I think we need to go to the other room.
Yes.
I hate that.
I
but
do. I
okay.
hear it. It says, "Go to the armory where they have all the big guns." Right?
Go to the guns.
That's what I'm hearing. That's everything I hear. Is it you're hearing that too, right?
You and I must be hearing something different then.
I'll go to the guns, sure.
Oh, sorry. I think I was hearing common sense.
The guns, you guys go to the guns and they're safe, and you have big guns and you're safe. Good spooky
Okay, we
season.
win.
We won. We're gonna wait. Spooky will
Yay.
Cookie will come back.
That's like the Apocalypse RPG that we played. And then we find a place to hide, and then we hide.
I'm okay. So there's this game called End of the World that Lawrence and Gabe and I played once, where the concept of this RPG, you pick an end of the world, whether that's aliens, whether that's human apocalypse, it could be zombies, it could be plague, it could be whatever, it could be like witch doctor shit, whatever. Like there's tons of options. But the booklet you kind of have to run, because what it does is it details how and over time, like what happens in the course of X months with this end of the world. And the play of this game is you sit down at a table, you build a character that suits you as a player. Like it's not like Lily playing Carl, it's Lily playing Lily. You build you as a character, and then you have to talk about and play how you survive the end of the world, which is
As
yourself, which to me is kind of off-putting, because now I feel like I have so many people I want to save, and if I can't, like, we have to describe my friends and family dying. It's dark. It's dark. Anyway, it's a wild RPG, and I want to explore it again sometime, but not, I think, in the method it's intended, because I always feel bad about my friends and family dying. Anyway, we're here, and BBW is getting whisper called deeper into residential, and you folks want big guns.
You think that's where the bigger circle is?
It could be.
Ask the whisper.
Whisper, is there something else you need? Can I discern realities for the whisper?
Why not? Let's do it. Let's see what you pick up in this whisper. I like it. We're playing loose Calvin ball. We don't have a timer, but I like to imagine that we're doing a one shot, so we'll find an end to this story, no matter who dies.
And then we all die. The end.
That's a 2.
The whispering seems to kind of overtake you and beckon you deeper into residential. I think it's hard to process much else at this moment. The whispering seems to, like rushing waves, just sort of wash over you, and it's kind of loud now. Loud whispering all around you. And I think while this whispering is going on as an effect for that, sometimes I forget to add an effect, but the effect of that is a -1 to wisdom checks while this whispering is happening. We'll turn it off eventually, but whatever wisdom.
That's a negative. That's -2 now.
Ugh.
We have -1.
Yes. So you folks find yourself back out in the hallway, looking down one path. You know which way you came from. However, as you step back out into this hallway, it seems to go on in both directions equally. And that was not the case when you entered. Like where you entered this doorway was kind of next to that second set of roped off area, right? Where we said that it like got sectioned off again. So like it was within 30 feet of those like of that second set of sheeting you passed. And now in both directions it seems to just go, and it is like residential doors and hallway.
Since it has changed out here, now I am going to once again have a bad feeling about this. So I'm going to survey a dangerous area.
I do have a bad feeling about this.
My bad feeling is worse.
It's another.
I have
It's
a worse
another 11.
feeling.
It's another 11. Is there a trap here? So what activates it?
I mean, you're kind of in it. You're kind of in a trap, I would say. What activates it, you look back, and what activates it was probably that circle that Carl stepped into.
What does it do when the trap is activated? What is it doing?
What is it doing is I think now that you're out here, you're peeking around trying to like get a grasp on where you're at, and you turn around and you're looking back into that room just trying to say like, okay, Carl activated it from that circle, what happened? And now a lot of these sigils and symbols in this room are like flickering and changing symbols. They're like, you know, one moment it's like a triangle with a line through it, and the next moment it's like a 3 with another I don't know, you know, like separate, you know, different symbols. It's like flickering, like you're seeing different states of it at once. And I think Slippy, you know, maybe with some of the lore I've half mentioned that Carl got a loose rumor while he was doing all his research. There is a this cult is trying to call to a power that kind of rests beyond the dark matter of the universe, that persists between all. And your kind of working theory off of what you're seeing is that you're kind of in this weird space. I guess if we were in D&D, I would probably call it the astral plane, but am not doing that because we're not using that kind of verbiage. But just to give you like context, right?
We're on the event horizon.
Yeah, you're kind of in between right now, in the dark matter realm or whatever.
The darker and darker.
The scary door.
The scary door.
The scary circle. Well, what else is hidden here?
What else is hidden here? I think, I mean, there's probably a lot hidden here. Slippy gets the idea, but there is a sudden... It's not even a sudden clang. It's more of a, there's a sudden tapping coming from both directions equally. Like same time, it's coming from both ways. This like tapping on metal, and it seems to be closing in. I don't really know what else is hidden here in terms of like, you know, you finding something, but there is...
How many feet away does it sound on either side?
I'd say you could probably see about, with Slippy's flashlight, even about, you know, say like 50 feet off into darkness before the various like fallen over shelves and such kind of have blocked your vision entirely, but it seems to be coming just a bit beyond that in both directions. And now looking at it like this and seeing that, both directions are the same.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to fire directly along the wall in each direction at where I hear the tapping.
Slippy's gonna duck.
Slippy's gonna duck. Give me a volley roll.
That is a 9 and
Like a special, you hit but do
Yeah, I shoot in both directions in the same thing. I just have to use twice as much ammo
Oh, okay.
because of the trigger finger.
Eh, you fire. And the ammo, the bullets fire off in both directions, and I think with your practice with these weapons, you know about how far the bullets go and about how long, and so they go probably about 70, 80 feet before you hear like a metallic plink, like you shot something metal in both directions. It's equal. They seem to be the exact
And
same.
that's significantly farther away than the tapping was.
No, it actually seems about as far as the tapping.
Okay.
The tapping
It
stop.
just no. The
That's a
tapping
really loud
it
tapping to
like
hear that far
stopped.
away.
It's kind of like echoing down these halls, right? It stopped as you shut off, but then you hear like a couple more taps. It's not like a mechanical or methodical tapping either. It's just like you maybe hear like tap tap scrape, tap 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 scrape, tap tap, like various things of that, and after that shot it seems to be getting closer.
Is the door to the room that we came out of still accessible?
It is still open. Back in that room, all of the
Still
sigils
lead to the room?
and symbols are just sort of flickering on the walls. You want to get back in the room?
What if we go back in the circle? Or do you think that'll double trap us?
I mean, I feel like
Traps.
waiting out here in the hall isn't going to give us any advantage over waiting for them in the room. And clearly, we're not getting the jump on them. Try that.
Slippy's gonna pull
I
out his
don't think
knife.
you can try that much more than just directly shooting at where their faces
He's
might
gonna dual
be.
wield knife,
They're ready.
flashlight.
As you are saying this and starting to pull out your knife, towards one of the sides, a shelf is pushed aside, and you hear the scrape of it along the metal ground, and a hulking hook-armed shape is in the shadows and slowly coming towards you. One of its arms is out along the out along its side, and it's scraping, and the sounds of the tap tap scrape is like scrape along a wall. It like hits the edge of a door frame and like taps a couple times across the door, and then is scraping down the wall, and it is coming down the hall at you. It's about 50 feet away. Very hard to perceive like what you're seeing. Even or not cookies, damn, even Slippy shines the flashlight across it, and it's like it's like wreathed in shadows.
Hate that. That's bad. Bad to look at. Bad to see.
How close?
It's about 50 feet, and it's walking slowly towards you.
I have something I want to try once one's within melee range, but I don't necessarily want to let these get within melee range yet. So, maybe we should keep moving.
Yeah. Let's go in the other because it's not like going fast.
Nope, it's just walking down the hallway at you folks.
Oh,
I guess
go in the other
Carl
direction,
will
maybe.
pitch to the group. What if because I have the a taser, and I'm wondering if sticking that in the middle of these things just because they're shadowy and it's light. Oh.
I don't know. I don't believe in these things.
We'll say that even
Yeah,
it's not even
neither
I think
do I.
necessarily that like Slippy's beam is able to like outline it. I think when Slippy is like pointing his special better flashlight at it, and it's his Slippy's trusty best flashlight. He trusts it so much.
Mr. Goodlight.
It's Mr. Goodlight. Mr. Goodlight is known to never fail, and it's failing as it's like coming over this creature. It's like flickering, and it's just not giving you. And you point it down and you tap it a couple times. It's perfect as you're pointing it down, but as you're pointing it at this monster, it is this. Sorry, this shadowy figure. It is flickering.
This thing.
This thing in the darkness.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, either way, I don't want it. Either way, I don't want it to be closer to me. So we should probably just keep moving. Let's go to a further spot and see if there's anything new over there.
We run away. Run away from the creature.
Yeah.
You
Fucking
folks
bounce.
bolt down the
I don't want to
hallway.
fight something that my flashlight cannot see.
The walls are almost repetitive. It's like you're in an old like 50s or whatever, like old Boomerang cartoon, 70s cartoon where they're like running and it's a repeated like backdrop over and over again. It's almost that. You're running down the hall and it's just like the same door over and over again. And at some point, I would even say that you pass this door again, like same door, it's closed again. I think that maybe there's like a little symbol on it that says it's unlocked. You know you've unlocked it. But it seems to be the same door, and you even whip around your heads at this point and see that the monster is still about 50 feet behind you. And you continue this run, and the hallway starts to become darker, and you find yourselves all of a sudden faster than you expected at the end of it. And there is a steel door here with like bar slats in the top of it, and you peek through and it's just a very dark, almost warehouse style room.
How big's the crack? I'm an octopus.
I mean,
As
the
long as
crack
the-
is probably about 6 inches. I think you could slip through, but
Right,
upon
easily.
testing
If
it,
my beak
yeah.
can fit.
Upon testing it, I think that like it is unlocked. It's just you've come to this door.
Okay.
Oh, it's unlocked.
Yes, yeah.
No,
Inside,
no. We get to the door before you have a chance to even go to open it. Carl's like "I got
diving
this,"
through.
and like slides under, and like halfway through.
Just shed your clothing, slip through. As,
Yeah,
as
leave.
soon
I
as you
drop
get
all my
through,
weapons. My rifle
immediately
doesn't
just-
fit there. It's on the floor. I'm sliding through. I reach up and I turn it because I think it's locked, and I lock the door.
hey, Carl, Carl,
Yeah, you should be able to get in now.
hey, Carl.
the
This-
Oh,
Is this how this works?
is really wonky. It just didn't work for the first time I did it. There we go. You should be able to get in now.
you folks get into the room and slam it
do.
shut behind you. Basic lock, as we've seen,
I think it's
lock it shut. Immediately the clanging or the tapping and the scraping stops behind you in the hallway, and you find yourselves in a silent black warehouse, basically pitch black
Oh no, it
Oh.
wanted us to be here.
warehouse.
Mm.
Coming through the different shelves of stuff, it seems pretty generic warehouse in here. There's boxes of all kinds labeled all sorts of shit. It all seems to be in kind of dusty or untouched, unopened. After 10-ish rows of these shelves, you come to an opening where it seems some shelves have been cleared. They're pushed up against other shelves or knocked over in some cases, and there is a huge open floor plan here. In the center is a huge circle. This circle there are symbols around the edge of it, and it seems to be vibrating.
I attacked the circle.
In the circle, floating above, not really floating, but tied up by, I guess, a rope and hanging from the ceiling, is Cookie. His body unconscious, and you get you get this image, and then similar to this first room, the darkness begins creeping in from around the shelves, and you can see like you like lose vision of a shelf as this like wave of darkness washes in. What is the first thing you folks do?
Are they suspended by rope?
Yes, Cookie is tied up by a like rope around their body, hanging them from the ceiling. They're like limp.
I'll
Not like a
probably
noose, because Cookie's
I'll go
not
for
dead.
I'll go for a volley, and I'm gonna say, hey, BBW, go catch Cookie, and then I'm gonna shoot the rope. That's a 12.
I just call for
Um,
breach.
And BBW, you
Yes.
rush in to catch Cookie.
I have a clear shot. Deal my damage.
You do it to a rope. It cuts the rope. But BBW, you rush in to catch your friend Cookie.
Yeah. I'll catch him.
Give me a defy danger, I think, on this one. And I think it is Constitution.
Okay.
And I'll explain why it's Constitution in a moment.
That's 7.
7.
7.
Anything but 7.
Anything but
7, 7,
So
7,
Cookie is
7,
tied up
7,
at a
7.
pretty high height, about 10 feet up in the air, which is really why Slippy needed BBW to catch Cookie as Cookie falls. BBW, you enter into this circle. First and foremost, you feel your power drain from you. It is like sickeningly fast. And I think rather than that, since we're doing it like this, what I'm going to do is do this. You take only 1 point of damage through armor as you feel that power drain from you. And then you have an opportunity, and it is either let Cookie fall and step out of the circle to not incur more. Like, you can feel it still draining power from you. Or catch Cookie and, you know, feel you get more power drained from you.
Hey, is that circle bad to be inside of too?
I think so. As my
Mm.
legs kind of start to wobble, I'm gonna try to catch Cookie.
You're gonna try to catch Cookie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you only take another 1 point of damage. Your power drains from you. You get up under Cookie, and Cookie collides with you. You two fall into a heap. No more damage beyond that. 1 more damage through armor as your power drains from you. You two, you see this happen, right? This was all very quick. Even that decision to continue in. As BBW enters into the circle, almost instantly this dark presses up against you all. You can barely see to the other side of this circle. It's about 15 feet long. And you hear a heavy footstep in the blackness, and a shelf. These are tall shelves. You hear it creak and then fall and crash into a shelf, which sends a few more shelves crashing down. And it's probably a minute even until this crashing stops, and then you hear another heavy footstep in the darkness. It is probably, since BBW is in the circle, having just caught Cookie, it is probably in the darkness behind Kaarl and Slippy. What did the two of you do?
Check, please.
Check, please.
I
Gun, please.
I am gonna probably
Ready.
run in the opposite direction and shoot behind me. Not going inside of the circle.
I'm gonna not stand behind Slippy. I'm gonna make sure I'm running ahead of Slippy.
There's not a lot of
is the right-
space between you folks in the circle. You guys are kind of close to the circle. There's not like there's probably about 30-foot
shimmy around
bubble
the
of
circle.
vision.
Shimmy around the circle while I'm shooting.
Uh,
I got a 10. So clear shot, I deal my damage.
Mm-hmm. Roll that damage.
I think it's just a D6.
Your
No, I get a D8. 5 damage.
your bullet flies into the darkness, and it's like a lit. Excuse me. We said a lot of this is like plasma, so it's like a plasma shot of some kind. It's lit, and it hits this creature, and it illuminates for just a moment before the darkness basically like eats that light up. And this thing is 8 feet tall. It's big, bulky. It has a hard exterior shell, and it has these 2 long hooked arms. It, you know, seems to be hiding in the darkness at the moment. As that bullet graces off of it, though, you can see it flinch for a moment, and as the darkness overtakes it, you see it drop its head and begin to rush in. That is just enough to let you know, Carl, it is rushing in directly at you, coming in for a big ol' beast tackle.
I'm going to. What's the lighting situation? Is it kind of like a spotlighty? The shadows nearby?
It's sort of like
I've got a
you folks
flashlight.
are in like a dome, like a 30-foot dome of visible area, and I would say it's pretty centered around this circle. So like as Slippy moves, his vision doesn't increase, right? It's just you're like in this barely visible dome.
It's like fog of war.
And there's like no cover of any kind. I know he could quickly get to the cover and look at me. Is there cover I could slip behind for even like a fraction of a second?
You would have to jump into the darkness. You know that in that darkness there's some knocked over shelves that you could hide behind, because coming into this room you got to see a little bit of layout
Oh,
before that shut down, so you could jump
okay.
into the
No, then
darkness
I
and try to
got
hide.
this.
Okay.
I totally got this. In that case, so I'm just going to jump into the darkness towards the anywhere on the ground really that I've seen and remember where we came in
Mhm.
and fucking camouflage myself.
Yeah. So this is the first opportunity we've had to use it. Carl and I have been talking. His alien
I
ability
also didn't write it down
did
apparently.
that's perfect, because
It's
we'll
not
talk
my
about it
character
now.
sheet.
His alien ability has never really made sense, because just it was like do spout lore and get health back or something like that. Is that
Yeah.
like just didn't make sense for Carl's race? So we've been talking about it recently, and we've decided to alter it slightly to fit what we've got going on, and that is that octopuses have a natural camouflage. So much as like Slippy's is almost like a layer, I would guess, of mucus or of like slime that allows him to slip out. So his is like a +1 to defy dangers when he's trying to slip out of a situation. Carl is a +1 to hide in plain sight because he has the ability to camouflage. So that's
Pretty
his
cool.
racial ability. Since also last time we did it, it failed, so didn't really give us anything anyway. It sounds like you're muted. I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear you.
Discord.
There we go.
Don't know why that happened. The is this just a divide danger roll? Is there a specific roll for?
This would be, yeah, I think it would be defy danger. Yeah, we're just saying it's to hide. So whatever that ends up being, whatever role we end up doing, same thing is, I guess, no, Slippy's is to defy danger. So yours is, I would say, to defy
Yeah.
danger when hiding. Whereas like Slippy's is to defy danger when escaping.
When escaping. Escape.
Yeah, and I'm trying to leave these a little bit more open-ended, because I realized the other day that they're, like, it doesn't always need to necessarily be a defy. Like Lily is hiding, so that's defy danger. But if Lily instead wanted to try to like, hack and slash at it and just not dodge, like it doesn't need to be defy danger, right? That could be an attack. That could be a volley at its feet. That could be whatever you want it to be. So I'm trying to like, for the most part, leave things open-ended. Where it came to like BBWs, it was a defy danger constitution, because he's like trying to withstand the damage there. But
Yeah.
just so you
Right.
guys know why I'm leaving it open.
I'm. Does dexterity make sense for this?
I think so.
I'm I'm staying still, so it feels weird to say dexterity,
I'd
but
say
that's
it's
usually
either
what's associated with stealth.
dexterity because you're acting fast, or it could be like intelligence, which is quick thinking.
Dexterous.
Dexterous, yeah. So yeah, defy with dexterity.
With dexterity, that is a 7.
A
Barely
7.
succeeds because dexterity is a +2.
So you said you wanted to dive back towards the area you recognize to try to like hide along the ground. Really, the only area
Yeah.
you recognize is behind you where the monster is coming from, which is good once it's past you because then you know you're hiding behind it where it came from. But in this case, you can either hard choice, worse outcome, or decision of some kind. Carl, I'll say you jump into the shadows. But the area where you hide, it passes you up after stepping on you, just like loose, full flat stepping on you. 3 damage, not through armor. So whatever armor you have, you're fine.
What is that? Just straight subtracted?
Oh no, sorry, not through
That's-
armor. So it's
Well, no. How's armor
oh
done? Is
yes,
the armor
straight subtracted.
okay? I have 3 armor, so 0 damage.
Perfect. So it steps on you and you feel like the jolt, but no actual damage as it rushes through and into this slightly visible area. The whole layout of this actual visible dome is 20 foot of the center of it is taken up by this circle on the ground, and then there's like barely 10 feet beyond that of visible space. And Slippy has said that he skirted along the edge of that, so he's in between, blackness and circle. BBW is in circle underneath Cookie, having just caught her. We can say that you've just shimmied out and gotten up, but you are in the circle. I think that's where what we'll do is BBW. You've seen this monster come crashing into. I'm only using the word monster now because it's a big monster.
Entity.
You see this creature come crashing into the visible space, and it stops at the edge of the circle. What do you do?
They're like not trying to get to the circle, just staring at me.
It's kind of looking behind it. You saw Carl dive off, like basically at it and into the shadows, and it's kind of looking behind it as if it didn't see Carl or doesn't know where Carl went. It's looking off into the darkness, but it's starting to turn its vision towards you or Slippy. It's like turning back around towards the two of you.
Goodness, this is a little scary.
Little. I am spooked.
I'm going to stand still, assume like a 4-legged position, and do light again. My disco light.
Okay.
Seemed to work before.
Yeah, use machines. Roll plus intelligence.
Okay.
Feed the shadow Cookie's eggs. Shadow Chutch.
Shut.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
That's a 7 solid.
Operation runs, but one of the following happens.
Man, you better hope at least Chutch is out.
Afterwards, I'm tossed up. Hold on. Afterwards, the machine is drained of power. You cannot run this operation again until you do technical prep work. You draw unwelcome attention. I like that. You draw an unwelcome attention. You light this up, and one of its claws comes in front of its face to block the light. It is no longer like wreathed in shadow like it was on the cameras, like it was in the hallways. It is just like a big creature in front of you. In this light, its focus pulls entirely away from where Carl is hiding and at you, and it begins stepping towards you. I'm actually going to say it begins rushing at you. One hand in front of its eyes to like block the light, and the other hand like out to the side, ready to fucking scythe your ass.
Ah,
And I think I'm gonna allow anyone to go because everyone is sort of in a position prepped, and like BBW is under fire. So even though he just went, if he wants to go, he can. Like anyone can go on this. The creature is rushing at BBW.
Is my staff perchance? Am I close enough that I could shock one of them in the foot?
Not from hiding. You'll have to come. You'll have to come out of hiding. But I'll give you what the advantage in this game is. I think it's add an extra d6 and subtract the lowest d6 from your thing, right? Because it's a 2d6 game. Yes. Yes.
Add 1d20 to your
Or
pool.
let me look it up real quick because I want to make sure, because I don't know if we've never really done advantage. It could be a plus one from your hide.
Means I rolled 12. I'm pretty sure
You roll 12 d6. Okay.
Yeah. No. That it's just always 12.
Oh, it is.
12.
It is a 12.
12 d1s.
Yes, indeed. 12 d1s.
Let's see. Bing bong.
But it's okay if you don't have any d1s. You can just proxy it with a d6. Just every face, replace that with a 1.
Oh, okay. So I'll give you a +1 for attacking from hiding. There is no advantage in this game because it's all about how you prepare for these things in order to get all the bonuses you can. So we'll say that this is that, right? This is you having prepared for this cool surprise attack with your staff. And the first, the first physical attack of Carl for the whole series comes in the filler rep. Let's go.
Does this enemy perchance count as defenseless or surprised?
I doubt it.
By me? Perchance, since I'm hiding?
I'll say with all this setup, maybe that can be the advantage rather than +1. You can either take +1 to a hack and slash, I think, or do you have a separate move that is?
Oh, hack and slash? I figured with that distance I might go for shooting.
Oh, okay. My brain had been on hack and slash this whole time because you were using your staff.
Oh, but the electrical prod is also like an additional thing that only fires if I complete them.
So?
I'm much better at shooting than I am with the thing, unfortunately, with my build, it seems.
Yeah, fire off.
I'm gonna keep shooting. You said there's 2 of them, right?
One of them. It's rushing at BBW right now, yeah.
Okay.
Guess maybe it has I was describing its arms layout. Maybe that's where you got to.
Okay, I think so. I'm gonna shoot at its head area.
Yeah.
If that looks particularly vulnerable.
Yeah, we're in like a direct line. BBW at one end, Carl at the other end, and the monster in the middle, and then Slippy off to the side in this like 4 formation. Almost surrounded at this moment. So volley roll.
That is a 12.
Wow, okay. You do damage, and what's the head thing? Is like concussion? Or
10 plus. I do damage, and also they do nothing but stand and drool for a few moments.
okay, roll that damage.
Oh. +1 damage. So unfamiliar with D10.
Oh yeah.
I never roll D10s. Fucking.
You guys do a lot of
2
damage.
+ 1, 3 damage.
2 + 1, 3 damage. All right. 3 damage is dealt. It stumbles for a moment at the edge of that circle and like is wobbly and yeah, wobbling on its feet. It is standing and drooling for a moment. BBW, you still feel this power draining from you. You paused to do this light thing, and you did your light thing just well, but I need you to make another Defy Danger Constitution. You feel your power just like sapping out of you.
I know what my next move is now as well.
Okay. And this is not BBW's move, so if whoever wants to go next can still go next.
That's a 7 on the Defy Danger.
So um 7 on Defy Danger. BBW, you... Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll either give you you can have an opportunity, you can have an option. This is draining energy from you. It either is going to drain more health from you, or I think you know how to sort of divert this kind of like power drain in this moment, and you feel like you could divert it if you wanted to another system. And in that example would put that -1 also on your dexterity. I'll also say that the whispering stops, so your wisdom is back to normal. So it'll just put that -1 on your dexterity.
All right.
I'm gonna pull a rope out of my bag of things.
Okay.
A lasso, even. You do get to add a tag, but it is not the last thing. It is a 10.
I mean, this
is
the same rope. This is the same rope you've been using. I think it's not really something I'm adding to it. You guys have just used it a lot. It's a worn, withered rope.
Used rope.
It's used as you used
and
AF.
then I'm gonna lasso BBW and Cookie and pull them out of the circle.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna fight a circle with a circle.
That.
What type of roll is that?
I mean, you're not taking aim and shooting at an enemy, so it would. Yeah, I mean, it would have to be our catch-all Defy Danger. Not unfortunately, just it would have to be our catch-all Defy Danger, I think. But I think you could either make it your acting fast dexterity, quick thinking intelligence.
9 dexterity.
By acting fast, you throw that around them.
Then I get to pull in.
I'll offer you an outcome. It's hard to see in here, and you've pulled them out. Except you realize you've only pulled one out. Which one did you pull out? You lassoed Cookie, and Cookie has been pulled.
Sorry, BBW.
Out. BBW is still in there.
BBW, you're conscious. Well,
what do you do? The monster is standing there, kind of dazed at the moment. And Cookie is safe out of the circle with BBW, or with, damn it, Slippy.
I'm everyone.
We're all safe.
Oh, Cookie's safe.
And Arl's in double danger.
Oh, I'm just technician. I'm not built to fight. I'm running the heck away.
Yeah, you just want to run out and into darkness?
Can I see where Slippy went? I want to run to them, please.
Yeah, Slippy.
Yeah, it took me a minute to drag Cookie away from you.
Slippy and Cookie are probably like 20 feet off, like just outside of the circle that you're inside of.
And Cookie's like, "Wake up! Wake up!"
Cookie, wake up. I'm running towards them.
Cookie, wake up.
And
you're running towards them?
Yes.
As you begin running towards them, the monster, the beast, seems to regain its senses and shakes its head and sees BBW, or sees Cookie having been pulled out of the circle, and sees BBW running for the edge of the circle. It howls a deep, guttural howl. You have never really heard a noise like this before. It doesn't sound like an animal's howl. It sounds like, I think the only thing that you are reminded of is like the vibe of deep space as you're like out in deep space in between missions, and it's just like the endless expanse of black around you. You know, you maybe see stars out there, but like you know that you're in deep space. It's like that kind of feeling that you get washes over you,
This
and
reminds me of
it
space.
I think again it rushes at BBW full force, claws both outstretched. It's like slobbering and drooling. It's almost like animalistic at this point, and it is
What's its
rushing at
name? Why?
BBW headlong.
Oof. Nice little robot boys.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Can I reset my lasso and go again?
Throw me back in.
Pulling Cookie out, you get Cookie most of the way out, and then your lasso snaps, and you are able to grab Cookie's
Where does it snap though?
right in the middle. Dead.
Okay,
You hold up both sides, and you're like, oh, now I have two 25-foot ropes.
I'm gonna use my turn to tie those ropes together.
Oh my god. Okay, whatever, man.
Don't worry, Slippy. I'll figure out where we can burrow through the floor easiest.
Perfect.
Pulls out Stud Finder.
Carl, BBW, Slippy is re-preparing his rope. It seems. This monster is rushing at BBW.
BBW, use your movement. Run away from it.
30 feet of movement.
Use 30 more movement.
I can shoot this thing in the leg.
You give it a
We
shot?
think that will do anything.
Can I like
I didn't think to buy like the net or anything. I just have guns and armor, so
I can shoot
Sure,
and I can get stepped on.
I want to like step to the side if I
yay!
can.
I
And see if
get
can
spooky
this thing.
points. I rolled a 3.
So many spooky points. Mark 1 spooky points. What is yours, BBW?
What about what?
What were you
I'm
asking
gonna try.
me?
I'm gonna if I can try like step to the side and like trip this thing by putting my leg out.
Okay, that feels like a
Seems like-
Yes.
It seems like I wouldn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a defy danger. Also dexterity or intelligence.
Dexterity.
Quick thinking. It's fine.
Intelligence.
Carl. Let's see what BBW rolls first, and then I'll explain all of this at once.
I got a 4.
Oh my god.
More
Like,
spooky
oh,
points.
Double
What the heck?
failure. Spooky points galore.
Give me some spooky points.
The Okay, here's what happens, I think, is that, Carl, you fire off another shot, and it whizzes past the monster's, we'll say, I mean, you were firing at legs, but it whizzes past the monster's head, and it stops on a dime. BBW, you've pulled to the side to try to trip it, but your force just causes you to keep going, and you kind of end up in a heap on the ground. You're close to the edge of the circle, however, because that was your turn, and you're in a heap now, you take 3 points of drain damage as you just feel this power leave you. And I'll say with that, you're able to... Well, no. That's where I'll leave that. Carl, you... this thing stops on a dime as this bullet, this plasma shot passes its head, and it whips around and rushes just... like perfectly at you, as if it saw you, you fire at it. Not that it did, but it rushes just directly at you, Carl. And it is basically right atop you. How do you want to go about this situation? Cookie, sorry, damn it. Slippy, you have Cookie and a rope, and I can leave this up to Carl or Slippy because I wanna get out of like it's X's turn. Like it could be anyone's turn, right? Anyone can help anyone. So if either one of you want to take this, but it's rushing at Carl.
I am gonna try and rope around it. around the monster this time.
Lasso the
with
monster.
with my rope that has now been repaired more or less.
Yeah.
This is gonna go great, I bet. That is a 9.
Okay. You can either lasso it and be ripped off your feet.
That doesn't seem
But
very helpful.
you'll slow it down. But you'll be dragged along. Or or it breaks your rope again, but at a different point.
I'm down to get pulled off my feet, but can I use my body? I'm gonna try and drag my body along the circle so that I erase the circle with my body.
So that you erase the circle with your body.
Maybe.
I didn't think of that.
I'm only gonna say no in this case because this is the result of you having failed a thing. No,
Fair
you
enough,
could
DM.
give me no, you
Victory
can
from
give
the
me
jaws of
a
defeat.
we'll just I mean because I'm trying to fall out of this like is turns. You can give me a defy danger dexterity on this. Trying to direct yourself towards like scuffing the circle as you pass.
That's a 10.
That's a 10.
A
Yeah.
10 if it's a dexterity. Baby.
I'll say that you do that.
I dexterously rub my body against the ground
You get
in
ripped
the way that I
off
want.
of your feet and you kind of roll your body over this circle to hopefully drag up the edge, and it scratches the edge of this circle. This creature is rushing headlong at Carl. Carl, what is your do you have a response to this, or do
Slower
you want to see
now.
how this lays out before I go?
What did kind of the surrounding room look like as far as we saw?
Rows of boxes on shelving. So I think I had described as it was moving about in the darkness when it entered this room that it knocked over some of that shelving, but theoretically it's rows and rows of shelving. Pretty high
Is
shelving.
there like a particularly high one that was nearby anywhere?
Yeah, they're we'll say that there's one nearby. They're all go up pretty high.
Carl, since it's charging and it charged at me before seeing me, Carl's going to stand near like a whatever Carl's reach is. I don't know because the staff has like extra reach. Stand like reach away and activate the shock, just the taser, just not as a weapon or anything, just to make the noise and try to
Distract it off to one
full,
side of you.
full lure basically.
I
Trying to
see.
manage it.
Okay, full loop that bad boy. I understand. Okay, that feels like since you're not tasing it.
By
Yeah.
danger, charisma.
I don't think this is
I mean
charm or
dexterity
social.
since it's using the thing, but like I am just trying to convince it to just be dumb.
I mean, dexterity, I think again, intelligence on this because you are quick thinking. This you basically you could have said I do intelligence, and then if I said how did you quick think that, this could have been your explanation, or it feels like one of those two. Using charm and social grace, I don't necessarily know that you're charming it or social gracing it.
What were the two options?
Dex or int.
I mean, I'm gonna take Dex any day. It's 3 higher.
Well, sure. I think I'll always
Int is
give
a
that option
minus
though,
4.
just in case you ever like, in case it ever just fits the situation, or like, you're like, it only makes sense that it's int, whatever. But yeah, 3 plus for sure.
That is a 9 total.
Okay. I think what happens in this is you get to that point to create this arc. This monster is about to overtake you. Slippy has scuffed the edge of the circle almost instantly upon it. Yeah, Slippy's running behind it like he's holding on to a bull. Almost instantly as Slippy scuffs that circle, the monster doesn't stop its trajectory towards Kaarl, but it begins to like kind of shake and phase, and shadow starts to kind of come out of its skin, and as it impacts Kaarl and this new arc of electricity to get hit by it, it basically is like popping a water balloon, right? It you hit it and it pops, and it's just like a wash of shadow over you and this rack on the wall. It knocks over the rack of the wall. It's a worse outcome for Kaarl, in that you did that thing, but you are caught up in this sort of wash of shadow and pushed backwards and into like a heap under this crashing down shelving unit, and Kaarl sort of
Smush.
hitting a point gets it blacks out as boxes and metal crashes down upon Kaarl. Slippy, I think in this moment too, the circle having been severed, BBW, you don't feel that energy draining from you anymore, but it has drained a lot of energy from you, and you feel blackness overtake you. Slippy, you are the last one awake.
I'm feeling great.
As
I'm doing good.
you're battered and bruised. You feel I would say weakened, but not like, just like it's this oppressive, like, dark area. You feel weak in here. But slowly over the course of a few minutes maybe, the normal darkness returns to this room. Those shadows start to shift out, and it returns to just like
Ew.
normal blackness in here. Yeah.
Well, let me get back into my bag of many things and see if I have smelling salts. I don't have smelling salts. I don't have anything else in my bag.
Turns out he didn't have anything in his bag left, and that's okay. You realize you don't, but I think BBW is the easiest to wake up. There's a brief moment of like getting BBW turned back on.
Beep, bop, bop, beep, bop, 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 beep,
The
bop.
two of you are able to drag Kaarl out of the heap under the shelving unit and wake him up as well. Battered, bruised, and bedraggled, you folks carry Cookie out and to the medical bay. Yes, is there anything else in here that you do or want to do before I continue descriptor?
No, that's fine. We're not gonna like kill Cookie or anything, so.
Cookie wakes up and it attacks you.
Cookie.
As you lift Cookie and this darkness is dissipating towards the walls, there's like been a haze around the area where this creature fell and bursted. That haze seems to remain a little bit as you folks move through the area. It almost wafts after Cookie before dissipating entirely. It doesn't actually like, mist over Cookie or anything, but it seems to like almost like magnetize towards Cookie as you pass it. And you pull Cookie away from it real quick and get her away, and then the mist kind of dissipates. And you folks return out. We can even say you erased more of the circle to give yourselves a thumbs up about it.
Oh yeah, no, I erased all of it.
Slippy erases the whole circle. And
I don't care if I have to use spit and a toothbrush.
And you folks return. Captain Rake gets a lowdown on you folks from, we'll say he visits you in the medical ward as you guys get checked over. Slippy's the most fine of everyone, but everyone's a little battered and bruised. And
Not mentally, though.
Not mentally.
Slippy now believes in monsters, but
And-
only in the spooky universe.
And he seems concerned.
not,
He says, "We'll have to make sure we look into this this cult. Happenings like this cannot continue, and if all haunted season is activities of a cult, then we will need to get to the bottom of this soon. But for now, until we have more clues and can do an investigation, you've saved Cookie and at least put a stop to whatever it seems like was happening now." And over the course
I'll
of
take my 10 spooky credits,
10
please.
spooky credits to everyone, right? Over the course of the next week or whatever, the station returns to normal. There are no more attacks like this. There are no more things like this. You folks wake up, return to your normal activities. Cookie wakes up fine. She's drained, but she is normal. As if Gabe was here to take over her, but he is not.
They feel fine.
It's all a very kind of rocking situation. You folks go about your normal activities. The camera pans out and over to this dark room where this factory was, where the circle was. There are a few investigators going through it. We'll say it's probably like a week later. They're flipping over things. They find a symbol here or there under a shelf, under behind a box. They're logging all of this information. And we see some shadows shift behind one of these racks, and one of the investigators goes to check it out, but there is no one there, and he calls over his buddy, and the other one comes over, and as they're both looking behind this rack to see what could have been moving back here, the camera catches a deep red robed figure kind of cutting behind a shelf and out of the room and back into residential. Easy. Yeah, I mean, the trip out was easy as well. Whereas you guys were in an infinite hallway before, it was back to normal as you exited. Mostly, I think I said that so I can
still infinite hallway. That would be bad.
cut it back in. But yes, and that is our spooky special.
I solved the shadow circle puzzle.
The Beast from Beyond, and we have a little bit of a teaser if we ever want to do another spooky special. You're muted, Lily. I don't know how that keeps happening.
Spook fucking tastic.
Spooky.
Spooktastic. Well, thanks for joining me on a spooky journey. I think the episode release will happen as normal on Thursday, and then we'll just have this special extra release to do like a holiday special out. So
happy holidays.
Yay, happy holidays.
Sounds
Spooky,
fun.
happy
Spooky
spook season
time.
to you guys.
Don't draw any
Happy
circles.
spook season, everybody.
Bye. I'm going to come over
Bye.
here. As for everyone else, I appreciate you all joining on Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice. This was our spooky special for the holidays. A wonderful little time to spend with you all as we prepare for spooky holiday season, right? It's like right around the corner. It's here. It's time for Halloween. So we wanted to do a little spooky special to enjoy the holiday. So I want to thank you all for coming on out and joining us. It was a great fun time, a little spooky, a little dark, a little horror. Got some murder in there. I don't know, man. It's spooky and dark. Yeah. I appreciate you folks joining, and yeah, we'll be back on Twitch on Thursday, so make sure you come by. We're going to be finishing out our Pokemon Rattata only run and continuing our long-form Oblivion playthrough, so come join us there on Twitch on Thursday morning, 9:30 in the morning, 9 in the morning, even earlier maybe, so keep an eye out there. We'll see you folks next time. I'll be back here on YouTube for Neo on Sunday morning. So if this is where you'll find me, then I'll see you on Sunday morning. If not, I'll see you Thursday on Twitch. See you next time, folks. Thanks for joining.